The Toon archetype is one of the most recognizable in Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, when I was covering Summon Skull last week, people kept commenting, where is Toon Summon Skull? And I was like, hold your horses, that is up next. And as promised, here we are, we're going to talk about Toons. With its wacky, cartoonish art style and its ties to the original Duelist Kingdom arc, it's definitely a fan favorite, but can it compete? The Toons have spent decades as one of the game's most frustrating and underwhelming archetypes in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Despite having multiple waves of support, they've always been a little bit, well, loony.
In retrospect, it seems a bit contrived.
Today, we're diving into the history of Toons in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, breaking down their releases, their biggest failures, and why they have never been competitively viable in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey, bruh? Yeah?
In order to answer the question, how good was Toons actually? Toons debuted in Magic Rulers, later renamed as Spell Rulers, because we can't have two card games even mention the word magic without some type of lawsuit going on, so blame Wizards of the Coast, I guess. In September of 2002, these cards were directly inspired by Maximillion Pegasus' deck from the Duelist Kingdom arc from the anime. At first glance, these cards look pretty decent. Toon Summon Skull had 2500 attack for 1 tribute, just like its normal counterpart. Blue Eyes Toon Dragon had a massive 2000 attack and could attack directly, and Toon World acted as their signature continuous spell, but the problem was they were almost unplayable. Every single Toon monster from this set had severe restrictions. They couldn't attack the turn they were summoned. You needed Toon World to keep them alive. Like, if Toon World was destroyed, kaput, you get nothing. All your monsters gone. And on top of that, most of them needed tribute summoning.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
On top of all that, Toon World itself was very, very bad. It had no search, it had no built-in protection, and if it was destroyed, you don't get any benefit, only negatives from all your monsters being destroyed. It's not like Fire Kings, where Fire Kings all have like different abilities when they are destroyed. Toons, they get destroyed, that's it. Your board's completely gone. Because of these extreme limitations, Toons were unplayable in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! From the very beginning. For years, Toons received no meaningful upgrades. They were reprinted in Darkness Beginnings 2 in 2005 and Retro Pack 2 in 2008. But these were just reprints, no new support. In 2009, Toons finally received a new card in Toon Dark Magician Girl, released in Duelist Pack Yugi. Now, did this new card revolutionize the deck, change the strategy, and finally fix Toon World? Absolutely not. The deck was still trash. This was the first Toon monster without a summoning restriction, meaning that it could attack immediately. But there was one problem. All the other ones still had to wait. Without a way to search or special summon it easily, Toon Dark Magician Girl didn't fix any of the archetype's core issues. It was just another unsupported monster that failed to bring Toons into competitive play. It was more of a piece of fan service than a card that would actually fix the deck. And that's a running theme with any of these upcoming cards. It wasn't until 2014, a full 12 years after the debut of the archetype, that Toons got their first real support in Dragons of Legends. But before we go over that, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate your guys' support, and don't forget to comment what's your favorite Toon monster. But enough of that self-promotion BS, on with the video. In Dragons of Legends, Toons received their biggest piece of support they have ever received, Toon Kingdom. Toon Kingdom reads, when this card is activated, banish 3 cards from the top of your deck, face down, this card name becomes Toon World while in the field zone. Your opponent cannot target Toon monsters you control with card effects. If a Toon monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish one card from the top of your deck face down for each of those monsters instead. This is actually a pretty decent card, all things considering, but there's two problems. One, banishing face down from the top of your deck is a pretty steep cost. Keep in mind, you're not going to be able to choose what you're banishing, so you could be banishing one-ofs from your deck, and once it's banished face down, there is no card that interacts with that really. And two, by the time this card came out, all the Toon monsters had been power crept, so you're giving up so much to protect monsters that really aren't that good. But it did fix Toon's biggest weakness, their reliance on the unplayable Toon world. But alongside Toon Kingdom, we got Toon Rollback, doubling direct attack, Toon Mask, special summoning a Toon from the hand if you control another Toon monster, and Shadow Toon, a spell card that allowed you to target one of your opponent's monsters and burn them for the equal amount of attack points on that monster. For the first time in their history, Toons actually had a strategy. Was it a good strategy? No, not really, but it was something that you could definitely build off of. But at the time, the deck lacked speed, consistency, and really any way to disrupt your opponent. While it was a fun strategy, it still wasn't meta relevant. In 2016, Toons got two new monsters, Toon Dark Magician and Red Eyes Toon Dragon. Both of these cards were bad. Both of them still had the summoning condition that they could not attack the turn they were summoned, which is just awful. Why would they print that in 2016? Again, most Toon monsters are more for fan service for fans of the anime than anything that really drives the deck forward. In 2020, Toons received their biggest wave of support ever with the release of the set Toon Chaos. New cards included Toon Marker, a searcher that could grab any Toon Kingdom related card. Toon Page Flip, a quick play spell that could special summon any random Toon monster from your deck. And finally, we have Toon Blackluster Soldier, the deck's new boss monster. Toon Blackluster Soldier reads, cannot be normal summon or set, must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing Toon monsters from your hand or field, whose total level equals 8 or more. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this card can attack directly. Once per turn, if you control Toon World, you can target one card on the field, banish it. Also, this card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. Gosh dang it, you were this close. You were this close to actually making a good Toon monster. Like, if you just erase that last sentence, this is actually kind of competitively viable. This was the fastest, most consistent Toon deck has ever been. It could now OTK, dodge targeting effects, and play through some disruption. So how good were Toons actually? Well, they were bad, but the frustrating part was they didn't have to be. They had really good abilities, but always prohibited by like one-line attacks that completely ruined the card. No matter if it was a self-destruction effect or they couldn't attack the turn they were summoned, Konami always found a way to ruin these cards. If Pegasus designed these cards like how they are in real life, Pegasus would have got curb stomped by Yugi. The Pharaoh would have beat him within turn 1. It would have been over. We wouldn't even had a Duelist Kingdom arc. It would have just been like one episode and call it a day, because these cards are just so bad. Now, in Konami's defense, any future support probably won't fix the archetype because the baseline is just so bad. So I don't expect them to actually fix it. I just want them to be functional and not have these stupid restrictions that make the deck not even fun to play at this point. If you made it this far in the video, 1, thank you. And 2, if you could comment down below anything I missed, I would really appreciate it, because in the future, I want to do a video breaking down all the things I've missed throughout these videos. By commenting anything I missed, not only does it hold me accountable, but also that comment has the chance to be featured in one of my later videos. But you know who never makes a mistake, like almost ever? My friends and today's sponsor, Hollow Games. Check them out on TCG Player, no matter if you care about Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Pokemon. They have you covered. But that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you guys next time.